In my world, the conversation is always about assets, portfolios, and capital. But there's a foundational asset that underpins everything else, one that's almost never cultivated with any real discipline. We're not talking about financial capital today. We're talking about its source, intellectual capital. So I'm going to share a playbook with you, 5 cognitive assets that separate the average outcomes from the truly superior ones. So what is this capital, really? The common assumption is that it's just an inventory of facts, a vault you fill with information. But that's a fundamental miscalculation. True intellectual capital isn't some static asset you just possess. It's a dynamic process you have to execute. Look at it this way. On one side, you've got the common portfolio, just a collection of knowledge. On the other, you have the actual engine of value creation. You see, it is not what you know, it is how you think. The true differentiator between people who just react to the world and those who actually shape it, well, it all lies in the quality of their thinking process. The truth is, most people move through their days, their careers, and their big decisions on autopilot. Their thinking is just a series of pre-programmed reactions to whatever happens around them. And frankly, that's a liability. Our objective today is to install a manual override to help you shift from that involuntary reaction to a deliberate, calculated response. This is where the real strategic advantage is found. Okay, this brings us to our first cognitive asset. I want you to think of this as a core holding in your intellectual portfolio. The principle is this. You don't enter a negotiation or a disagreement to win. You enter it to acquire something far more valuable than a simple concession. You enter it to acquire data. Right here, we see a fundamental shift in objective. The majority sees a disagreement as a battle that has to be won. Their ego is on the line. They use their arguments like weapons. The perceptive thinker, though, sees it as an intelligence-gathering opportunity. The goal isn't to prove a point. It's to actually understand the other side's model of reality. This phrase, it's not a concession. It's a key. It's a tool that disarms defensiveness and completely neutralizes ego. The moment you stop trying to win the point, you start to see the entire board. You can't force an outcome, but you can create an environment where other people start to re-examine their own logic. And that is where true influence lies. That brings us to our second asset, perspective. Most people view events through a keyhole. The intelligent thinker, on the other hand, uses a wide-angle lens. They widen the aperture to see the entire landscape. Just consider a single failed trade or a rejected proposal, maybe a bad quarter. The narrow focus sees a final verdict, a defining failure, but the wide aperture sees it for exactly what it is, a single data point. So the intelligent question isn't, why did this happen to me? It's, what is this data teaching me about the system? What's the larger pattern at play here? With that simple shift, problems become puzzles. And puzzles can be solved. Our third asset is maybe the most critical one for efficiency and for preserving your energy. It's all about resource allocation. Your focus, your energy, your intellectual horsepower, these are your most finite resources. You have to deploy them surgically and only where they can actually generate a return. So here's the algorithm. It's simple, but it is profoundly effective. For any problem you face, you ask, is this variable within my direct control? If the answer is no, like the market's behavior or a competitor's next move, you divest. You release it. Any energy spent there is a sunk cost. But if the answer is yes, your preparation, your response, your strategy, that's where you concentrate all of your resources. This discipline prevents the incredible waste of energy on things you just can't change. And now for our fourth asset. Most people feel like silence is a vacuum, something that has to be filled with noise. That's a huge tactical error. You see, silence isn't an absence of anything. It is a presence, a tool of immense power. A deliberate pause, it serves multiple strategic functions. A moment of silence before you answer gives your words weight. It communicates that you're considering, not just reacting. It also makes the other person want to fill the space, and they often reveal information they wouldn't have otherwise. And most importantly, it projects calm and control, which is often the deciding factor in any high-stakes interaction. So we now arrive at the final asset, and this is the one that really integrates all the others. Think of it as the operating system for intelligent thought. I call it the response gap. It's that tiny space between what happens to you and how you choose to respond. For most people, the path is just 2 points. Stimulus leads directly to reaction. A negative email comes in, an angry response goes out. A market downturn happens, a panic sell follows. But the intelligent operator inserts a third point, right in the middle, the gap. And in that space, whether it's a second, a minute, or an hour, they observe their emotion without acting on it. They consult their principles. They choose a calculated, strategic response. That gap is where intelligence lives. In any boardroom, any negotiation, any crisis, this is the fundamental truth. Emotional reactivity is a vulnerability. The person who can maintain composure while everyone else is losing theirs, the one who can think while others are merely feeling, that is the person who controls the outcome. So let's bring this all together. These are not 5 isolated habits. They're an integrated system, a playbook for manufacturing superior outcomes by upgrading the very process of your thought itself. Let's review the portfolio we've just discussed, your 5 core cognitive assets. First, seek data, not victory. Second, widen your aperture to see the whole system. Third, focus your energy only on what you can actually control. Fourth, leverage silence as a strategic tool. And finally, number 5, engineer the gap between stimulus and response. This is the portfolio that generates all others. Our analysis is complete, but the real work, your work, is just beginning. Theory is worthless without application. Now, don't try to master all 5 of these habits at once. That's just a formula for failure. Choose one, just one. Which asset from this playbook will you deliberately begin to cultivate this week? Your answer to that question will determine the future value of your most important portfolio.